3 Golden Eagles for War Thunder. Link in the description. Hello you sexy beasts, welcome back to War Thunder. My name is MikeGoesBoom and this is the T-34-85. We are in a battle on Hütgen Forest, one of those maps that I don't really like too much. It is a varied gameplay of city combat, long-range engagements. You can pretty much just spawn camp the enemy spawn from your spawn, which is about 2 kilometers away. By the way, that's a quick little tips. The spawns of the teams on this map are about 2.1, 2.2 kilometers away, so you can use that when trying to go for those long-range shots that you can't quite figure out the distance with your rangefinder. But this gameplay today is not so much about the tank. It is rather about how to use the ground you're traveling on. For example, right now you should be noticing that I am traveling on the road, because it actually makes a huge difference. A couple of patches ago, got introduced different resistance types for different types of ground. If you travel on the road, you are much faster than when you are traveling on stuff like desert sand or mud, especially riverbeds. That's when you slow down the most. So when you are traveling in a rather fast medium tank and you want to be the first one to get to a capture zone, always stay on the road. But that's not the only thing we are going to talk about today, of course. I'm currently driving in, leading my team and trying to get to the capture zone before the enemy does, because I am in a fast medium tank. Although we are fighting against the Americans and the Germans. Now the Germans don't really have anything quite comparable to the T-34-85 in terms of speed, but the Americans do. They get access to the M18 Hellcat, which is one of the fastest vehicles in the game. Classified as a tank destroyer, but I would rather see it as a light tank, because the thing has no armor whatsoever. Now coming up to the A flag, I know that there is probably at least one M18 over on the road, so instead I try to go and flank around, try to get some houses between me and the enemy. This is actually a tactic you can use in first-person shooters as well. Those of you who play a lot of Counter-Strike, a lot of say Battlefield, you know that it's very important to move from cover to cover. Probably the best examples are even Armour or Insurgency, for example, another game that I play a lot. The more you move from cover to cover, the better. And on that, you also have to keep out how to conceal your tank. As you can notice right now, I have a solid house between me and the enemy spawn and a bush to my left side. And not only that, I'm also making sure that I am not moving my turret, because here's the thing. The easiest way to spot an enemy tank is by movement. If you see an enemy tank move, it's going to be much easier to spot them than if he was to be standing still. Which is why it is very important to always use your C key to look around without moving the turret, and using the binoculars to also look around without moving the turret whilst, for example, driving or even trying to spot enemy tanks. Now once I captured the A zone, of course don't want anyone to know exactly where I am, so I moved out. Now I did see that Panther, I was using the third-person view here to spot the Panther coming in through behind the dead house. He had no chance of seeing me. From his screen I was behind his house, he had no chance of seeing me, but I did see him and I surprised him from the side. That's the thing about the T-34-85, it's a very versatile tank. It has decent armor, of course it's only 45mm thick, but it does have quite a bit of sloping on it, so it can bounce a couple of shots. The gun is a 85mm gun, an upgraded one over the standard D5T variant, which has a decent fire rate, decent damage, especially if you shoot at Panthers from the side. It's generally a one-shot kill, because it does have a lot of explosive filler, and it's all around a very good tank. Of course, not quite invincible. If you shoot a hull with an APCR shell, for example, it's not going to bounce. If you shoot the gun mantle from the front, it's also going to penetrate quite easily. But of course you have to see the tank first, as that Panther demonstrated he could not do. And he is down, burnt to death. I don't know if he was trying to get into cover before using his fire extinguisher, or if he just had bad luck and blew up immediately. Either way, it did not work out quite well for him. Now I'm kind of scared here. I've already killed 2 tanks, so it is quite likely that the enemy has a general idea of where I am. But I am now being supported by my teammates. The cavalry has finally arrived, the Russian forces are coming in full force. We have some ISU 122s and an IS-2 in the city. So I at least know that I can cross this treaty without getting shot at from the left side. Doesn't of course mean that I'm not going to get shot at from the right side, because there's none of my teammates over there. I saw what seemed to be a tank over there, and it is indeed, but he has died already. He was shot down by one of my teammates. That's another thing you can do. A little known fact, this is tank's RB by the way, so you don't get target markers or target markers or name tags over the enemy. You have to spot him with your old Mark 1 eyeball. English is hard. What you can do, however, is use your machine guns to mark the targets. Because here's the thing, any damage you do, any hits you do to an enemy tank is going to, 1, ping them on the minimap, and also with that little inverted triangle symbol that flashes on the screen. Now the first time you ding them, it's not going to be quite exactly on them, it's going to give a general direction, but the second time you ding them, it's going to be right on the tank. And this is visible to all of your teammates as well, so if you see a heavy tank, for example, that you can't quite penetrate with your gun, you can always shoot it with a machine gun and mark it for your teammates that are behind you with hopefully bigger guns that can actually take it out. As you can notice, I'm trying to move from cover to cover here. I'm trying to not expose too much of my tank at once. I was trying to keep at least one side of my tank in concealment. At this time I'm trying to keep the front of my tank, at least between my tank and the enemy spawn, concealed with houses, because that's where most likely the enemy is coming from. So far we haven't seen any enemies flanking around from the right side. It is quite an open field. It's normally where the AI are, and it's a shoot fest. It's a shoot fest. If you try to flank around through there, you are probably going to get shot at. Now I was not quite sure if this tank was actually alive. As you can see, the target marker is actually a bit to the left of him. Shoot my MGs, made sure that he was still alive, shot through the side, somehow hit the ammo, but it did not blow up. Now the guy tried to play dead. He was using Jurassic Park tactics of not moving, so as the enemy would not spot him. But, mate, once you get shot at, they already know where you are. Once you get shot at, you should get into cover as fast as possible. So the cavalry is now in full force in the city. The city is pretty much secure. We have also secured the C flag, and pretty much the enemy has no chance of capturing this flag right now. So the next logical step is trying to hunt the enemy down. So far we can make pretty sure that there are no enemies in the city, at least. We are scanning this slowly up forward. There's no one in the field, there's no one coming from the spawn, so they must be either on B or on C. Now the B flag is quite far away, I'm not going to waste my time going over to there, but the C flag, as you can see on the minimap, is quite exposed. We have only one tank in the immediate vicinity of that C flag, and I'm not quite sure if that's actually a play control tank or an AI. So it's probably not a bad idea to go through there and create some flanking fire in case the enemy does try to go for that. And yep, as you can see on the minimap, our only teammate who was on the C flag has just been taken out by an M18 Hellcat, which means that flag is now exposed. That M18 is indeed going to start capturing this flag in a bit, and I'm going to try to go back and support my teammates there and try to secure the flag. Because we are in a slight point lead, but not too much. This is still anyone's game at this point. Using my binoculars again, extending my view range, extending the clarity of my view as well, trying to hide behind these bushes whilst scanning the horizon for any enemy tanks that might be coming from the enemy spawn. In Tanks RB it's really all about being the first one to spot the enemy. Whoever gets the first shot off generally has the advantage here. The thing about tanks and War Thunders, it's not like other games, like for example World of Tanks or Armored Warfare. In those games you can take a shot. You can take a shot and still be able to fight. In War Thunder, a single shot, if it doesn't kill you, it's still going to cripple you quite a bit, which means you don't get much chances. If one shot penetrates you, it's probably going to take out your turret ring, your gunner, your cannon breech, your transmission, your driver, any of those components, and you're dead in the water. Either unable to move, or unable to fire back, or both. And when that happens, you can guarantee that you are not going to repair before the enemy gets another shot off. Alright, time to move on to the C flag. The C flag has been decapped, the enemy is just about to cap it, and we are now moving in forwards. Again, using my MG to see if that tank is alive, and it is indeed. That is a AI-controlled M3 Lee, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure with the correct names of the early American tanks right now. But yep, that guy has lost his turret. Oh, that's sad to watch. Now as I'm crossing this field, I'm kind of worried about side shots. The side armor of the T-34 is not exactly the strongest. 45mm, slightly angled, but the way I'm driving, it reduces the angle and makes it quite easy for the enemy to penetrate. Therefore I spot my turret over to the other side, so that even if I do get shot at and, for example, my engine gets set on fire, I can at least get a reaction shot back into the enemy. Gladly, no enemy was in the way, and I was able to cross the way. Now I want you to notice the way I took. During this entire game I was always trying to use the terrain features of the map to conceal my tank as best as possible. During the whole scene in the city I was always going from house to house, using bushes, using rubble, using walls to conceal myself and not be spotted by the enemy. Same thing here. Crossing to the C flag I tried to go through the low ground, having always a hill between me and the enemy spawn so that I would not get shot at from the side. Now the enemy M18 that was capturing our C flag has been taken out. So, whilst my team is capturing the C flag back, it is time to create some flanking fire. Looking at the mini-map, our team is slowly advancing into the enemy spawn, which means they're probably not going to be able to go to the A flag, but they might go for a rush to the C flag. And that AA vehicle that I shot at earlier is still alive. I haven't gotten any enemy kill assist markers for that guy, so he's definitely still alive. And yep, as expected, he is just driving around. Now sadly I did not pack any high explosive shells, and this is actually my bad. I should have taken some high explosive shells. If I had loaded high explosive shells then I would have killed him, but as it stands, my teammate takes the kill and I get an enemy kill assist. Quickly look at the scores, trying to figure out how many tanks are still left alive on the enemy team. Now this is quite a good position. From here we can overlook the enemy spawn and still have some concealment between us and them. I saw a Panzer IV driving through there, so I pinged the map for our teammates to know that he is there. Now this Panzer IV, he is quite stealthy. First shot goes low, bounces off the ground, doesn't do any damage. I had troubles watching this guy. Second shot got into the tracks, but he's very hard to see. Now there's an aircraft coming for me. Uh-oh. He wants to drop some bombs for me, but not today. I love the smell of burning aircraft in the morning. I was actually quite proud of that shot. I was really quite proud of that shot. Now we have spotted two enemy tanks. There's an M18 in the field trying to advance. Get a shot into him, set him on fire, 3 of his crew down, his engine is down as well. None of my teammates are able to shoot back at him, so I take the second shot and take him out. The Panzer IV is still alive though. No one has shot back at the Panzer IV yet. There he is, if you can see it in the binoculars. And this is exactly why I use binoculars. On the screen I couldn't actually see him. I could not see this guy on my gun sight, which is why that first shot misses. The camouflage of the tank conceals him perfectly against those stone walls and houses behind him, which makes it very hard for me to spot him in the regular gun sight. With the binoculars, however, I can trace my shot and know exactly where he is. Third shot goes over, adjust my aim, he's about 1 kilometer away. This shot, did miss as well. It was actually a friendly shot that pinged him and marked him. Now from the right side I got a Tracer in, if you saw that. Glass shot takes him out, but there was Tracer coming in from the right side. That was that that M4 that was shooting at me, trying to shoot at me from long range.
Attention to the designated grid square. Attention to the...
And at this moment it's pretty much it. The enemy are running out of points here. Did they manage to sneak around and get the A flag, however? Even though we had so many tanks in the A flag, there's actually a Tiger 1 that managed to get onto the A flag and cap it. Seeing the danger and seeing that we have so many teammates just camping the enemy spawn, we have currently 3 tanks down there. It is time for me to move back. Time for me to support my teammates. Now, directly on the cap zone we only have an anti-air vehicle, which is not exactly the best thing to fight against a Tiger 1. It's only a 72k gas. The thing only has what, 37mm cannons, 20mm cannons. It's not going to penetrate a Tiger. Let's just put it at that. So it's time for me to put the mobility of this tank in action and get back into the fight. Now the anti-air vehicle is actually being quite ballsy. They haven't located the enemy tank yet, but he's trying to decap and cap the A flag yet again. But that Tiger is paying attention. He's hidden there somewhere, and he just took out our 72k gas. Try to put some speculative artillery strike in the way. By the way, tanks you hit with your artillery strike also get spotted. That's a very valuable use of the artillery strike. Even if you don't damage them, even if you don't kill them, even if you don't penetrate their tank, the shrapnel can still spot them for your teammates. So if you have some teammates around a flag and they don't quite know where the enemy tank is exactly, drop an artillery strike, maybe you hit him and maybe you ping him on the map for your team to know exactly where he is.
Need cover. I agree.
Alright, skipping forward a minute or two, we have now made it into the city. Now we still don't know where the Tiger is. And I'm quite worried at this point. So far I've managed to survive the entire battle without taking a single hit. I was actually quite surprised. And that's exactly where the value of knowing how to position your tank and how to conceal your tank comes in. I haven't taken a single hit yet. But sadly, we do not manage to find out where the Tiger is. Mission accomplished, bulletproof, on hand, most assists, no hits taken in return, and 4 kills, including an aircraft kill, which makes for a total of 5 kills actually. And there's our well-deserved spot on the top of the leaderboard. Sadly, even though we pretty much carried our team here, we didn't get too much in terms of rewards. Only 41,000 Silver Lions and roughly 4,000 to 5,000 research points, with a premium account of course. 3,400 even, that's bad. Anyways, this is it for this gameplay for today. If you've liked this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you've disliked it, you can also dislike, I won't mind. If you're new around this channel, don't forget to subscribe, there are videos coming out, roughly 3 videos a week now, and I will see you in roughly 2 days. My name has been MikeGoesBoom, thanks for watching.